Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd Canto, 9th chapter, answers by citing the Lord's version. Text 22. Manishitanubhavo ayam mama lokavalokanam yad upashutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapaha. Manishitanubhavoyam mama lokavalokanam jadupasrutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapaha. Manishitanubhavoyam mama lokavalokanam jadupashrutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapaha. Manishitanubhavoyam mama lokavalokanam yadupasrutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapaha. Manishita, ingenuity. Anubhavaha, perception. Ayam, this. Mama, my. Loka, abode. Avalokanam, seeing by actual experience. Yat, because. Upashutya, hearing. Rahasi, in great penance. Chakartha, having performed. Paramam, highest. Tapaha, penance. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abodes, and this has been possible because of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order. Please repeat after me. The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abodes. And this has been possible because of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The highest perfectional stage of life is to know the Lord by actual perception. By the grace of the Lord, this can be attained by everyone who is willing to discharge the act of devotional service to the Lord as enjoined in the revealed scriptures that are standard and accepted by the bona fide acharyas, spiritual masters. For example, the Bhagavad Gita is the approved Vedic literature accepted by all the great acharyas such as Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, Chaitanya, Vishwanath, Baladev, Siddhanta Saraswati, and many others. In that Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna asks that one always be mindful of Him, always be His devotee, always worship Him only, and always bow down before the Lord. And by doing so, one is sure to go back home, back to Godhead, without any doubt. In other places also, the same order is there, that one gives up all other engagements and fully surrender unto the Lord without hesitation. And the Lord will give such a devotee all protection. These are the secrets of attaining the highest perfectional stage. Lord Brahma exactly followed these principles without any superiority complex. And thus he attained the highest perfectional stage of experiencing the abode of the Lord. And the Lord Himself, with all His paraphernalia, impersonal realization of the effulgence of the Lord's body is not the highest perfectional stage, nor is the stage of Paramatma realization. The word Manishita is significant. Everyone is falsely or factually proud of his so-called learning. But the Lord says that the highest perfectional stage of learning is to know Him and His abode devoid of all illusion. Manishitanu bhavoyam mama lokavalokanam jad upasrutya rahasi chakartha paramam tapaha. The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abodes, and this has been possible because of your submissive attitude in the performance of severe penance according to my order. So, who is saying this? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. And to whom is he saying this? To Lord Brahma. When is he saying this?
After tapasya.
When did he say this? When is he saying this?
After 1000 years, celestial years, performing tapasya.
And then what happened? Right. Lord Brahma saw the abode of the Lord. And what else did he see in the abode of the Lord?
His associates and Lakshmi is serving.
Whose associates?
Six of the Lord.
So who did he see first?
Lord Narayana.
Okay. In the abode of the Lord, he saw the Lord along with his associates and entourage and paraphernalia and the abode with all its variegatedness. So when one achieves spiritual perfection, what happens to him? Does he merge in Brahma Jyoti? That is a kind of spiritual perfection, but that is not the highest spiritual perfection. There are how many types of worlds are there? How many natures are there? Two natures. What are those two natures? Material nature and the spiritual nature. In which nature we all are? Are you sure? I thought you all are in the spiritual sky. Yeah. So material nature and spiritual nature. What is the difference between material nature and spiritual nature? Okay, first Krishna Chan, what's the difference?
In the spiritual nature, Krishna is in the center, whereas in the material nature, we put ourselves in the center.
Very good. The difference between material nature and spiritual nature is the nature where Krishna is the center, that is the spiritual nature, and the nature where we are the centers, that is the material nature. So what are the other differences between material nature and spiritual nature, Karanarayan?
In spiritual nature, everybody tries to serve Supreme to the Godhead, and here in material world, everybody wants to satisfy their senses.
Okay. And Nitai Chandra, what's the difference? Other differences?
Everything is in the spiritual nature, everything is in relation with the Supreme Lord.
Okay, very good. Prema Bhakti?
Spiritual nature is eternal, material nature is temporary.
Okay, very good. Kevin? Difference between material nature and spiritual nature?
The spiritual nature, everything is in the internal potency, guided by Krishna, whereas in the material nature, we are directed by the most material nature.
Very good. In the spiritual nature, everything is controlled by Krishna, arranged by Krishna, and in the material nature, everything is controlled by, what did you say? Whose modes?
Krishna's modes.
No, Maya's mode. Krishna's external energy. Other differences, Ramananda Rai?
Spiritual world, everything is Satchitananda, and in this world, everything is Asat, Achit, and Nirananda.
Okay. In simple word, in the spiritual nature, everything is spiritual. In the material nature, everything is inert. Okay, Sadhan Siddhi?
In the spiritual nature, Krishna is the supreme India.
Okay, very good. And in the material nature? In the material nature, everyone thinks that he is the supreme enjoyer. Okay, Radharani?
The spiritual nature is the original abode and the material nature is a perverted reflection of it.
Very good. The spiritual nature is the actual reality and the material nature is the perverted reflection. Does this all descriptions make sense? Do they make sense? Like what is the proof that something is correct? What is the proof? The proof is from whichever angle you look at it, it makes sense. Like you consider a mathematical calculation. A mathematical calculation, sometimes some calculation has different stages, right? And if it is correct, then what will happen from whichever point you look at it, it is correct. But if the calculation is wrong, then what will happen? Up to some point it may be correct, but then it's all mixed up. It will never tally. Does it make sense? Shyam Okay. What about an engineering calculation? Also, same thing. So right is always right. Wrong sometimes may be right, but otherwise it is wrong. And so that is the way to understand whether we are on the right platform. Krishna consciousness at the beginning may not appear to be that right. But as we start to practice, then what happens? Like for example, when you start to practice Krishna consciousness, what happens? Initially, we are told that we have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, latest. Right? And don't you feel, oh, why should we have to do that? But then as we begin to practice it, also there's so many things that doesn't make sense, that we don't like to do in Krishna consciousness. We have to get up in the morning, we have to go to the Mangal Arati, we have to chant 16 rounds. We may think, why so we have to get up so early? What if we sleep at least till 6 o'clock? After all, everybody else is getting up at 8 o'clock. If I get up at 6 o'clock, why Mangal Arati has to be at 4:30? Couldn't Mangal Arati be at least at 6 o'clock? Then I could have. Then we also find that some temples actually have Mangal Arati at 5:30 or not ISKCON temple, some non-ISKCON temple. But then also there are so many restrictions. You can't take tea. Everybody drinks tea or coffee. Why there is so much restrictions? Couldn't it be a little relaxed? Initially we have these kind of doubts. But then as we start to practice, then what happens? As we begin to practice, then we see that it works. Yeah, it's so nice to get up so early in the morning. It's so nice to have the darshan of the Lord in the temple, the first thing in the morning. It's so nice to sing and dance with the devotees. It's so nice to take only Krishna Prasad. It's so nice to be submissive to the authorities. Sometimes the question comes that way. Why do I have to submit to the authority? Why do I have to be submissive? Who is he? To Guru Maharaj I can submit. But why the temple president? Why the departmental head? Initially we have these doubts. But what does a good devotee do? A good devotee? What is the sign of a good devotee? Prema Bhakti. A good devotee's sign is that he is submissive. And Krishna is also telling Brahma, because of your submissive attitude. Submissive. Why are you following all these instructions? Because we are submissive to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said Mangal Arati at 4:30. Prabhupada said follow the 4 regulative principles. Prabhupada said chant 16 rounds a day. Prabhupada said follow the line of authority. So we are following the line of authority of Srila Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada said, we do that. Prabhupada said you be submissive, so we are submissive. Prabhupada said chant 16 rounds, that we are chanting. And what is Prabhupada, and who Prabhupada is submissive to? Prabhupada is submissive to his Guru Maharaj. And ultimately, we all are submissive to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes devotees asked, some devotee asked, Prabhupada, why do we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Why don't we chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mantra? Why don't we chant? Because it says that Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Krishna considers offenses, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't. In Krishna Nam there is consideration of offense, but in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name there is no offense. Mahaprabhu doesn't take any offense. So why do we not chant Mahaprabhu's name? At least this will be easier. There is no offense involved. Prabhupada said we chant Hare Krishna because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked us to chant Hare Krishna. The reason we are chanting Hare Krishna because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it. That's the meaning of being submissive. We are submissive to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked us to chant something else, we would have chanted that. And people have introduced all kinds of things, mantras afterwards. But that is totally unbona fide. And what is the proof that they are unbona fide? They are not getting any taste. They don't get any taste. They are just dry. They're simply dry. Whereas, look at Krishna, ISKCON devotees. The ISKCON devotees are so blissful. I hope you all are. Are you all enjoying in Krishna consciousness here? Huh? You are enjoying doing what you are doing? So that is the proof. We become joyful. That is the proof that it works. There are some groups, they say that they are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but they chant all kinds of mantras. Not Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but other mantras. Bhajo Nitai Gaur Radhe Shyam. There are groups, they chant 24 hours. They were actually right next to our Vrindavan temple. And I remember those days, the whole night they used to sing. Bhajo Nitai Gaur Radhe Shyam. With Mridanga and Kartav. 24 hours they're chanting. But they're dry. They're not getting any taste. Huh?
Hare Shiv, 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 Hare.
So there are all kinds of groups. But what is our strength? Our strength is lying in our authenticity of the sampradaya, the bona fide of the sampradaya. It's bona fide. And as I mentioned many other times, what is the ultimate proof that this process is bona fide? The ultimate proof is that one will face death with a smiling face. With a smile in his face, one will die. People die in various ways, like it may sound like they're kind of, it's probably not possible and all. But one thing we notice, most of the people, the karmi people, when they die, you can see in their face there's a clear indication of fear, that their face looks so afraid. Sometimes some people die at the time of death, they pass too. So that means, in this way people face their death. But when one dies like that, what is the indication? That the Jamadutas have come to take them. Whereas ISKCON devotees, how do they leave their body? There's so many devotees are leaving their bodies, and so many more will be leaving, and we will see how to leave their bodies with a smiling face. No fear, no pain. Why should one experience pain when one transmigrates from the material body to spiritual body? When one sees Krishna in front of him at that time. As Krishna is telling here, what is the ultimate perfection of life? The ultimate perfection of life is to see Krishna. Seeing Krishna's abode is not different from seeing Krishna. Krishna is rather humbly, Krishna is not putting it so emphatically or arrogantly. Krishna is putting it rather humbly. Krishna is saying my abode, but actually, what does one see? When one sees Krishna, what does one see? Seeing Krishna's abode means seeing Krishna. Krishna actually could have said, that the ultimate perfection of life is to see me. But Krishna is putting it indirectly. Seeing my abode, because seeing Krishna's abode is not different from seeing Krishna. And when one sees Krishna, like sometimes people say, well, I saw Krishna. I saw Krishna. But the question will come immediately. Well, what else did you see there? What else did you see? Did you see just Krishna? Was Krishna alone? Or Krishna was in his abode? Seeing Krishna means seeing the entire spiritual sky. Otherwise, it is just an imagination. The real perception of Krishna would be seeing him in the spiritual sky. So, ultimate perfection of life is to see Krishna face to face, as Krishna is pointing out here. The highest perfectional ingenuity is the personal perception of my abode. And this has been possible. Why this has been possible for Brahma? Krishna is saying, because of your submissive attitude. So spiritual life actually means to be submissive. That's why spiritual life begins with submission. Sharanagati. What is the meaning of the word Sharanagati? Huh? Yes. Sharanagati means surrender. Surrender to who? Surrender to whom? Surrender to whom? To Krishna through the via medium of his representative. A big man cannot be approached directly. You have to go approach a big man. How does one approach a big man? Through his secretary, through his agent, through his representative. Can you just walk into the Prime Minister's office? Can anybody just walk into his office? No. One has to approach his office. One has to approach his secretary. And then the secretary gives you the appointment. And then who takes you? His usherer will take you. He has people who will escort you to his office. So if that is the case with an ordinary person, then what about Krishna? That is why one should not try to approach Krishna directly. One must approach Krishna through the via medium of his secretaries, of his representatives. Now, that also brings about another point. Like, if you are submissive to somebody, then you have to be also submissive to his representative. Sometimes we notice that some people say, well, I'm submissive to Krishna, but I'm not going to surrender to Krishna's representatives. Why should I surrender to devotees? I mean, these are very neophyte concepts. People in a neophyte stage develop that kind of attitude or harbor that kind of attitude. But when one becomes advanced, then what happens? Then he knows, yes, I have to surrender to Krishna's representatives. And who are Krishna's representatives? Krishna's devotees. Who are Krishna's devotees? Who are rendering service to Krishna. And how should I render service to Krishna? By being engaged by those representatives who are serving Krishna. So more advanced you are, more submissive you will become. There is another way to look at it also. What causes us not to submit? What is the cause of not becoming submissive? Who will go? Jai Krishna raised his hand. Although he was trying to drive away the fly. What is the cause of not being submissive?
Because living entities or servant of his senses.
Okay, services. Living entities, when he is a servant of his senses, then he can't surrender. Okay, Krishnachan.
False ego.
Very good. What prevents us from being submissive? False ego. So when we are not submissive, then we have to immediately detect, is my false ego? That's not allowing me to be submissive. And we all have a lot of it. That is the first cause of bondage in this material nature. False ego. What is the meaning of the word false ego? False ego. Radha Vallabh, what's the meaning of the word false ego? Mitangara. Did I ask you to make a translation? What is the meaning of the word? Yes? I am. Okay. And yes, I mean,
don't understand our original position.
not understanding our original position. Navdeep?
Identifying oneself with his body and byproducts of the body.
Very good, very good. False ego literally means mind. False means wrong. And ego means identity. Wrong identity. False identity. What is my real identity? Mitesh?
I'm a part of that big soul.
What is, okay, so I'm a soul. But how is that understood? Okay, Navdeep raised his hand. Very good. Yeah, the identity of a living entity is that, okay, maybe you can say it in English. I was about to translate into Bengali, but I thought, since you said it in Bengali, might as well translate.
Being an eternal servant of Krishna.
A living entity's identity is that he is an eternal servant of Krishna. Eternal. We are, what is our identity? We are eternal servants of Krishna. But what is our situation here in the material nature? Ramananda? In the material nature, we all are trying to become the master, lords and masters. Is that our real position? No. That is our false identity. Are you the lord and master? Amal Bhakta, are you the lord and master? Then who are you? Are you the lord? Then who are you? The soul also can be lord. In the material nature, all the souls are thinking that they are the lords and masters. You are the servant of Krishna. None of us are the lords of anything. All of us are the servant of Krishna. What does a servant do? What is the duty of a servant? Arunaksha? What is the duty of a servant?
Everything, every time, serve Krishna.
It's the duty of a servant? Yeah, okay. Shammohan? Yeah. The duty of a servant is to serve the master according to his instruction. Master says, pani lao, and you bring the pani. The master, whatever servant, what should a servant do? He must serve the master. So what should everybody do? Everybody should serve the master. Who is the master? Krishna. Right. But then another but comes in. That is Not only Krishna, but Krishna's representatives. If we want to serve, then we must serve under the representative's direction. The process is very simple, which begins with this submissive attitude. And Krishna is very distinctly pointing that out. Brahma, you have been successful in achieving the ultimate perfection of your life because of your submissive attitude. Whatever I told you, you did. In Brahma's case, what did Krishna tell him? What did Krishna tell him? Right. Tapa means perform austerity. You perform austerity and penance. Performance of severe penance according to my order. But in this age, what is Krishna telling us? Sadhan Siddhi? In this age, Krishna told Brahma to perform austerity. But now what is Krishna telling you? Yes. Now Krishna is telling Navadev. Well, that stage we have transcended. We have done that. But what is Krishna telling in this stage now? Right. Chant the holy name. Chant the holy name. That is the order of Krishna in this age. Chant the holy name. And what will be the reward if you chant Hare Krishna? Vibhashan, what will be the result if you chant Hare Krishna? What did Brahma get? What did Brahma achieve? By following the orders of Krishna. Are you understanding what I am saying in the class? Then, what happened to Brahma when Brahma followed Krishna's order? In this verse, what is it saying? What is Krishna telling in this verse? Don't just sit in the class like a... Try to understand what's going on, what I am saying. Radha Vallabh, what did he say? No, in this verse, what is Krishna telling? What is Narayan telling Brahma? তার ফলে কি হবে? তুমি বাংলা ইংরেজি বোঝো না নাকি? আমি ইংরেজিতে ক্লাস দিচ্ছি, you are replying in Bengali. What is the difficulty in learning a language? I don't understand. What is the difficulty? You all study English in school. Here every day you are attending class in English and still you can't understand English or speak English. What's the difficulty? Is it a complex that you can't, English is the language of the sahibs, so I can't speak it. Only the sahibs will speak, or big people will speak English. And people in India suffer from that kind of complex actually. I cannot learn English, I cannot speak English. Make an effort. You all are intelligent boys, at least you have some education. How far did you study? কতদূর পড়াশোনা করেছো? Okay. Still, how many years you studied English? নাকি ক্লাসে পড়াশোনা করেনি, ফাঁকি দিয়েছো? বিভাষণ, তুমি কতদূর পড়াশোনা করেছো? হ্যাঁ? কি? Degree. Okay. So then, and still you don't understand what's going on in the class. আমি এতক্ষণ ধরে কি বলছিলাম ক্লাসে? What was I saying? Say it in English. সাধন সিদ্ধি তুমি কত পড়াশোনা করেছো? হ্যাঁ, higher secondary. So, what did I say in the class today? Say it in English. Whatever you understood, just say it in English.
First you say about in surrender.
Okay,
What is the definition of surrender?
okay. Good, go ahead. And when you surrender, then what happens? What is Krishna saying to Brahma? Did Brahma surrender? And then when one surrenders, then what happens? When one surrenders and acts according to Krishna's instruction, then what happens? What is the meaning of your name? Huh? Huh? Tell me, what's your name? And what does it mean? Sadhana means? Sadhana means? Sadhana means practice. And Siddhi means? Say it loudly. Siddhi means what?
To achieve something.
To achieve something. Siddhi means perfection.
I have first I say it.
So what is the ultimate perfection?
Ultimate perfection of life, back to Godhead.
And when you go to back to Godhead, then what happens? Okay, but here in this verse, what Krishna is saying. See this one? What is the meaning of the word loka abalokanam?
Loka means Krishna's above.
And abalokan means what? Avalokan. Lochan means what? Eyes. So what does one do with eyes? Seeing. So avalokan means what?
Seeing the Krishna's above.
Yeah, avalokan means to see. So mama loka avalokanam. Sees my abode. So when one achieves perfection, what happens?
You can see the Supreme
Abode of Krishna. So if you chant Hare Krishna, and if you achieve perfection, what will happen? If you achieve perfection, what will happen? After I explained everything, still you can't get it. How many times? Why don't you all think? Okay, Kevin, what is the ultimate perfection? What will happen when one achieves perfection?
When we achieve perfection, we get to see Krishna. This
Right. So now, yes. What were going on in your head all this while? Yes, now. Just get some substance in your brain. Don't just carry the head without any substance in it. The head is supposed to have what? The head has what? Head is supposed to have brain. And what is the function of the brain? What is the purpose of brain?
Storing information.
Storing information. So put some information in there. Just use the faculties. The facilities that you have, try to use them. That is the purpose. Like Krishna consciousness will enrich yourself spiritually. And in this way, these faculties will become very sharp. Your intelligence will become sharp, your memory will become sharp, your will become strong. These are the signs of spiritual advancement. And spiritually inert means materially also dumb. A person who is not spiritually advanced, he is dumb. Look at the animals. Even the animals have some intelligence. But if being human beings, if in spite of getting this opportunity, if you don't utilize these facilities, then what's the point in getting this human form of life? It doesn't matter from which background you're coming from. It doesn't matter whether you're born in a village, whether you are coming from a very simple, humble background. It doesn't even matter if you are not educated. But practice Krishna consciousness will increase your memory, will sharpen your intelligence. All these faculties will come. Jasyasti bhaktir bhagavata kinchana. Sarvai gunais tatra samashati shura. When one practices Krishna bhakti, all the divine qualities of the demigods will become manifest in him. So please take it seriously, take this process seriously. Time and time again I am telling you, try to cultivate your intelligence, try to sharpen your memory. Learn the languages. Now that you're in Madhya Pradesh, learn Hindi. This is a place where people are speaking Hindi. It's a Hindi speaking place. So to communicate with people, you have to know Hindi. So learn Hindi. Don't remain just a bunch of Bangali Bangla Bachao. Don't just remain Bengalis. You are not Bengalis. You are spirit souls. You are devotees of Krishna. You can master one language in 2 days if necessary. Krishna will provide the intelligence. Don't suffer from any complex. There is nothing to suffer from any complex. Even if you make mistakes, speak the language. Make it a point to learn Hindi and learn English. English is a priority because it's an international society. Everybody in this society must know English. And in this way you become extraordinary. Don't worry about what is your background. You can learn. Radhavallabh, didn't you learn how to cook? Did you know how to cook when you were at home? You didn't know how to cook. But you learned how to cook. Although you did not know how to cook before. So you didn't know English, so why don't you learn English? Is it going to be that difficult? I can tell you, English is not any more difficult than cooking. If you can learn how to cook, you can learn how to speak in English. Okay, very happy to hear that. Now you are learning, now you become a master. The proof of your learning is that you become an expert. Vivashan, not only just 2 of you, everyone, make it a point to learn the language, learn English. Speak. Speak. Speak, the practice makes a man perfect. When I was young, I was told, if you want to learn English, because learning English is a big thing in India, was a big thing. I mean, I think even now, because English is a very important language in today's world. And we learned that if you want to learn English, then read in English, write in English, speak in English, think in English, and even dream in English. So that means you have to occupy your mind with the language. Our brains has different channels. When you speak Bengali, it is one channel. When you speak Hindi, switch on to another channel, Hindi channel. Like in the radio, you have channels. One station, another station. So have different channels. Hindi channel, English channel, Bengali channel. Make it a point to learn. Nothing is difficult. Nothing is difficult. A man can do anything. A man is capable of doing anything. And the more you advance, what happens? Your consciousness expands. The consciousness expands. And it's a matter of expanding your consciousness. If you just limit yourself only to Bengali language, then what will happen? Your consciousness is becoming limited. Now that you are exposed to other languages, expand it. Expand your consciousness. And they will all be accommodated. I gave an unusual Bhagavatam class today. But this is the purpose of Bhagavatam. We have to improve ourselves. We have to constantly improve ourselves. That's what spiritual life does. Every day we must make it a point to become a better person, a better individual. Every day our consciousness must expand. Material consciousness is covered, and spiritual consciousness is devoid of that covering. Spiritual consciousness means exposed consciousness, expanded consciousness. And that is what will happen when you chant the holy name and practice devotional service. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question or comment?
Guru Maharaj, you explained that submission is the most important consideration in spiritual life. That with the example that if someone is asked to bring water, he has to bring water. But in this connection, I had this question since a long time that when someone wants to serve the master, then there is also not just a robotic kind of following, but also a kind of spontaneous desire to do something for the master, which may not be always within the instructions of the master.
Okay, very good. So that is like when the master says, "Sir, bring me some water." You bring water, but how you bring the water, that is the consideration. Whether you will bring it in a worn out clay cup, or you are going to get a fantastic golden cup and serve it to him. That is up to you. He wanted water, you bring the water, but how will you bring the water? That is going to determine your service attitude. Yes, I mean, if you bring in a worn out clay pot, clay cup, he may appreciate that you brought the water, but he'll be pleased when you bring it in a golden cup. Yes, Navadip?
Another thing, it also depends that, how fast you bring the water.
But don't trip.
So we can go and say, okay, I'll look for a golden cup, and you bring the water after So we have to bring the water and bring it in the golden cup, and we have to bring it fast.
That's true, yeah. But sometimes if it takes some time to get to arrange the golden cup. Anyway, you got the point. That's true. That's the thing. Bring the water when he needs it.
Yes.
Don't make him wait because we want to get first the golden cup. Yes, very good point. Yes.
Maharaj, in order to learn English, we should make a policy that nobody will speak any other language except English. And within 2 months, we will be able to speak good English.
Then the people in Madhya Pradesh
In temple.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good point. That rather than I'll take it after Sitaram, his hand went up.
Whereas with the tapasya of Kardama Muni, which was motivated for progeny, he still managed to see the Lord and obtain all the wonderful gifts. With Brahma for creation, he also managed to see the Lord. So in yesterday's program, Srila Prabhupada was saying that the last stages of devotion is to perform devotional service without motivation. So we are still, in this time, consciously aware of going back to God and performing our service for the purpose. How do we achieve this last stage of unalloyed devotional service?
You see, the more we get tuned up to the will of the Lord, the more unalloyed or uncontaminated it becomes. The purity of the intention is to be tuned in to the will of the Master. What is actually preventing to become completely submissive? Our independence, our false ego, right? Our personal interest, our personal agenda. So the more we become free, and that has been described as Anna Bhilashita Shunna. Abhilasha means desire. Abhilash means desire. Anna Abhilash, any other desire. Shunnam, devoid of any other desire, besides the Lord's will, His intention, His desire. So, unalloyed means, you see, the word itself is explaining. Unalloyed. What is alloy? Alloy means foreign element, right? The water is pure as water. But if some foreign element is there, even it may be gold, it is not pure water, right? So, when the devotion, when the service is devoid of any other element besides the will of the Lord, that is the unalloyed devotion. So we have a false ego. You see, like that is the difference between Karma Yoga and Krishna Bhakti. The difference between pure devotion and Karma Mishra Bhakti is the Karma Mishra Bhakti is bhakti, but there is the personal interest. There is the personal interest. I want to do this. I want to do this, but I am offering the results to Krishna. And that is Karma Mishra Bhakti. I do it because I want to do it. But after I complete it, after I do it, then offer it to Krishna. Right? Whereas bhakti is when I do not have any personal desire. But I'm just going to do it because whatever Krishna wants. And that is, I can't hear Krishna's voice now. I can't hear Krishna's instruction now. Therefore, I have to listen to Krishna's devotees, Krishna's representatives. I can't hear Krishna, but Krishna's representative is here. So let me hear what he is saying, what he wants me to do. And without any personal consideration, when I do that, that is unalloyed devotion. So it's a pure devotion. The definition of pure devotion is that Anna Bhilashita Sunnam Jnana Karmad Anabritam. Jnana Karmad Anabritam. Karma means desire for enjoyment. And jnana means desire for liberation. So when our service is even devoid, even free from desire for liberation and personal enjoyment, but only consideration is to please Krishna, anukullena krishnanushilanam, Bhakti Uttama. That is the pure devotion or unalloyed devotion.
So why devotees are struggling? Because we have this Maha Mantra, we have so many elements. We have Srila Prabhupada's example of this Anyavilasita, which is the perfect.
Yeah, we are struggling because of a false ego. We have everything. We have Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we have ISKCON, we have, all the service in this world, right? But my false ego is what is preventing me from taking advantage of all these opportunities.
Hence it's also stifling the development of ISKCON, and has stifled the development in the past because Srila Prabhupada set up such a huge framework that when the false ego entered...
Well, before we look at the overall development of ISKCON, let's consider our own individual development. That's what is stifling me, my individual development, my individual progress. Like the first we have to consider our personal consideration instead of a collective consideration. Instead of pushing ISKCON forward, let's first consider what about myself? What's happening to me? How my false ego is standing there as a stumbling block in my spiritual progress. Because sometimes, why I'm saying it, because sometimes we're trying to develop ISKCON may also become my false ego. The consideration should be, like, who am I to, push ISKCON forward? At least I can do one thing, I can push myself forward. Let me become a pure devotee. You see, also there is another tendency. Let everybody else become a pure devotee. But I don't give a damn whether I'm making any spiritual progress. And this is how we develop a very critical attitude. Oh, you are bad, you are bad, you are bad. But what about this personality? What about me? Let me first work on me before I go into others and point fingers at them. You are not doing this, you are not doing this. Like, let us consider what the hell you are doing yourself. That should be the first consideration.
I reminded of Srila Prabhupada, someone wrote to Srila Prabhupada and said, Srila Prabhupada, we have done this, we have done this, we have done this, and Prabhupada replied, yes, now save yourself.
Yes, that's the same point. Save yourself. Before you try to save the whole world, save yourself. Yes, Radharani?
You've already partially answered my question, because on this topic of submission, submissive attitude, because my question was, how does one increase one's degree of submission? And you mentioned this when false ego gets
We have to work on our false ego.
So, from my personal perspective, I can submit to somebody if I have explicit faith in them. So my next question would be how to increase one's degree of faith in somebody. Like Krishna, his representative, society, devotees.
Well, the first consideration in this respect will be try to find the situation where you have implicit faith on some individuals and work under their guidance. If something is troubling you to have implicit faith, then better place yourself in some situation where you can develop that implicit faith. But that will be necessary. And then, go ahead. What's your...
What I can say is that how to increase the submission. Because for me, the submission will increase.
The submission will increase when you get the taste. It's not an artificial thing. It's not a matter of forcing yourself. Some sort of forcing, some sort of pressure may be necessary, but ultimately it has to be spontaneous. And how the faith will increase? Like you follow that person and you see that by following him, you are experiencing something and you are feeling more surrendered. You are inspired to become more and more surrendered. You see, Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada often used to say that it's not an artificial imposition. It's not an artificial imposition. It's a natural development. Like, you see, why and how it's a natural development. You surrender to somebody. And then that somebody, by surrendering, what you experience is care. You find that you have surrendered to yourself to that person, and the person is the way he is taking care of you. It's so amazing. I mean, you gave this much, and in return you got this much. And then you think, well, fantastic. So let me give some more. And this is how this submissive attitude. Giving more means what? Giving myself more. So it has to be reciprocal. It's not one-sided. Not, I am the boss and you have to surrender. That's a material concept. Whether you like it or not, because I'm the boss, you have to surrender. But spiritual life is not like that. The person who is surrendering to, he will also see that actually he is your servant. He is not seeing that because you surrendered, he became your master. He sees that he is your servant. That is the internal mood that he harbors. That's an internal mood that a spiritually advanced personality harbors. And that is how the mood will become so wonderful and sublime.
This is actually regarding the point of English that you were speaking. Actually, in Madhya Pradesh and especially in Ujjain, the spoken English courses are like one of the best business, most thriving business. Like everyone wants to learn English. So if we, as an international society, could provide a spoken English, either British spoken English or something, people will in flocks. They come for learning English, and through English, Krishna consciousness also.
Okay, first of all, we are not here to run some business and make some money. That's not what we want. And then the second point will be, let the charity begin at home. Let us teach English to our own devotees before bringing the people from outside and teach them. Right? Yes?
Maharaj, when I just came here, I was very eager to learn Hindi. And Parul came and she gave me some classes, and it was really amazing. But unfortunately, her gold leafing and her college got in the way, and it stopped, and eventually I never learned. I feel very guilty about it because I get cheated left, right and center every time I go to the market. But the thing is, I was some time ago thinking that I wanted to propose that we have an English class and a Hindi class, because everyone needs to learn both languages, and the Bengali people also learn Hindi, and me, I have to learn Hindi as well. And I will be prepared to give at least an hour a day towards the Hindi class.
We actually, when you came here, we started both the classes, yeah? Especially Hindi class. What happened to Hindi classes? Stopped. Raghav Pandit was supposed to give the Hindi classes, and he doesn't even come to Bhagavatam classes. So I think you have to give him a reminder again. That's a good point. Yeah, let's have some classes. And ultimately it is a practice, an effort to learn the language. So everybody make an effort. Don't think that English is the language of the demigods. And Hindi is the language of the Brahmanas. Make it a point to learn. And then you'll become demigods, Brahmanas, everything. Yes, Navdeep?
Maharaj, what do you get when you chant? And the same question I had asked quite some time back to Bhanu Maharaj, what do you get when we chant? What is the result? Then he said, you get more chanting. You chant, you get more chanting.
Yes, because you get the taste. And when you get the taste, like when you eat something and you like the taste, what do you do? Right? Yeah, true. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi.